Hi, this is Father Andrew Ritchie, and you're listening to Catholic Inspiration, a podcast from my website at studyprayserve.com. These homilies and presentations form part of my ministry as a Catholic priest for the Diocese of Superior, and now I invite you to open your heart to some Catholic inspiration. The Gospel reading today recounts a very well-known healing miracle that Jesus performs. There's 10 lepers, and they're coming to Jesus, but because of their leprosy, because of this horrible affliction in their skin, they're cut off, shunned by society. You can't get near a leper because the ancient world thought you get too close, you're going to catch whatever it is they've got. And so, again, discounted by society, pushed off on the margins. They had to beg for their very lives. And it was a horrible way to live. You were physically in pain, cut off from your family, unable to provide. You were isolated. The only company you had were people who looked as sick and ragged and diseased as you. But from a distance, these 10 lepers call out and they say, Jesus, Master, have pity. And when Jesus saw them, he calls out to them. He says, go show yourselves to the priests. That's all he says. He just says, you go show yourselves now to the priests. All right, well, on their way, they're cleansed. It's a miracle. It's amazing. They were sick and they were ill. And now we hear what happens. Only one is going to come back and thank Jesus. Only one. And he's a foreigner. He ain't Jewish. He's a Samaritan. They don't get along, the Jews and the Samaritans. And yet it's the Samaritan, the foreigner, the outsider, who comes back, kneels before Jesus with gratitude. Now, before we give the other 9 too hard a time, let's just be clear about something. We're talking about 10 people who were sick physically, relationally cut off from everybody, in a horrible plight. They're healed. My bet is they ran home as fast as they could to be reunited with their families. That they were praising God, but they ran home. They wanted to get back on the business of life. And I don't want to say they should have said thank you. I think they should have done that, but here's the deal. They had good reason to leave. But they didn't practice gratitude. So here's the takeaway for today. God's mercy extends to all. Here's Jesus healing people. He was healing people who weren't even Jewish. The Samaritan is an example. God's mercy is lavished upon the world. Doesn't matter our skin color, our language, our creed, our background. God died on a cross for all of us. That the mercy of Jesus is accessible to every soul on this rock through all time and space. That's an amazing gift. God opens his arms in the person of Jesus on the cross that all of us might have a shot at eternal life. With that mercy in mind, and knowing that we can come to the Lord for healing, that there's no boundary, there's no barrier, there's no obstacle. Just like these 10 had no boundary. They could call out, and with a simple word of command, they were healed. Okay. God's mercy extends to everyone. Which means, how are we being merciful to others? How are we being part of the solution and not the problem in our relationships, in our interactions with others? How are we taking time to give people those opportunities so that they can make things right? How are we fostering harmony, unity, healing, and a wholesomeness? Are we on the lookout for when things aren't working so that we can say, okay, how do we fix this? How do we make it better? How do we move it along? That's the first thing. The second piece that goes with that is gratitude. It's easy, friends, to take the most wonderful gifts for granted. Our health, people in our life, opportunities that we have. It's easy to just assume that that's just the way it is. It's not. In a blink of an eye, our lives can change. And in the blink of an eye, lives do change. And yet when we approach the gift of life from the perspective of gratitude, from all that we've been given, all that we have, we can begin to understand, if only in a faint and dim fashion, we can begin to understand that we have been blessed. And even if we've got our struggles and our challenges, when we have a grateful heart, we are disposed to recognize how God is at work in our lives in a very true and beautiful fashion. Gratitude is what this Samaritan practiced. Gratitude, thankful for the gift he'd been given. Which leads us then to our follow-up. What is it that we need to be thankful for today? It's kind of a funny little exercise, but you might want to try this. Grab a piece of paper. Write down 10 things you're grateful for. Then take a good look at that. Then write down 10 more. Take a good look at it. Then write down 10 more. Try that a total of 10 times. Write down 100 things you're grateful for. At first, people might go, I don't know. I don't have anything to be thankful for. I would say, think again. I would say sometimes our view can get pretty small about how we've been blessed, about the people in our life, the gift of our life, the opportunities we have in life. Take time today, count your blessings, and then take those blessings to the Lord in prayer, thanking God for the gifts that we've been given, a gift that's been founded in the mercy and love of Jesus. God bless you all. This is Father Andrew Ritchie, a Catholic priest for the Diocese of Superior. Over the last few years, I've been deeply touched to learn how these podcasts have helped people grow in their faith. Now, if they speak to your heart, I ask that you pass them along to your family and friends. Share them on Facebook, forward the website, or best of all, offer simply good old-fashioned word of mouth. For more information, homilies, and talks, you can find me at studyprayserve.com or in Apple Podcasts at Catholic Inspiration.